Sinister is a surprisingly nice horror film. It creates a solid feeling of suspense throughout that is pretty chilling. Ethan Hawke pretty much runs a one-man show in Sinister, holding most of the screen time by himself. He acts as a reporter delving into a string of murders with ghostly connections. It's that standard ghost formula that we all know, really well done. If you haven't seen it and you enjoy ghost movies, then Sinister won't disappoint. I Am Legend is a pretty interesting film, particularly if you're aware of the source material. The first time I saw it, I knew nothing about the book it's derived from, and I found it to be an enjoyable ride. Will Smith is the last man on Earth in a zombie vampire apocalypse. He listens to Bob Marley and hangs out with his dog. It isn't particularly thoughtful, but it's fun and crisp, in a similar way that watching Tom Hanks in Castaway is fun. If you don't enjoy Will Smith as an actor, then just don't watch this movie, because you won't like it. Otherwise, it's a pretty mellow action horror comedy. However, as I mentioned, this is a movie based off a book by the same name, and if you've read that book like I have, well, don't expect any sort of similarities between this film and the book. I mean, there's a couple of close calls where the themes almost line up, but unless you're really looking for it, you're not going to see any connections, and just kind of use the title. Still, there are a lot of other adaptations of this novel, and actually almost all of the adaptations are completely different, so if you're really interested in that, you can dive in, but if you're looking for something close to the I Am Legend novel, this is not it. It's still a good movie, just not close to the book. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is on Netflix. This isn't the extended cut, so you will miss out on the whole journey, but honestly, it's not that important. These are the kind of movies I only recommend watching in a group on a lazy day, like once every 2 to 3 years. Because honestly, you're looking at a minimum of 9 hours of marathoning if you jump into these films. I personally enjoy the marathon method. I find it's the best way to get the journey. And the journey is why you're here. This film paints an entire universe in front of you as you move out of the Shire and expand out into all of Middle-earth. Once you've seen that entire universe, delving back into these films isn't really as fun as it was the first time, but I think it's a good series to remind yourself of every so often. The scale and depth of The Lord of the Rings is beyond anything else. If you haven't seen it, take the time out at least once to go through the entire trilogy, if for no other reason so you can see what everyone else is talking about. The Lord of the Rings novels and world has defined fantasy for generations, and these films are a true testament to that world. You can skip The Hobbit though. The Boondocks is a series that seems off when you first see it. At first glance, everyone is a cliche. A offensive cliche, no less. You got a thug kid, a cheap womanizing grandpa, kid philosopher, and even a Uncle Tom in here. I've seen people just get repulsed by the imagery and the language. The N-word's in here a fair amount, and just turn it off. And you know what? I see where you're coming from, but that's a shame. This show actually has some of the best social commentary out there. It's clever and provocative, inciting conversations rather than just dancing around them. Huey has constant bleak insights into the society around him, and despite his great capability, he is helpless to solve anything. Each individual episode acts as its own microcosm of social issues. It's rare for this show to find a satisfying resolutions to its problems, instead glossing over them. Its humor is certainly pessimistic and sarcastic, so if you enjoy that kind of humor, that's what this show is at its core. I highly recommend The Boondocks, and I wish people were more aware of it.
Netflix recommendation 7! Dun, dun, dun. And we're starting off with Sinister. As you can tell, the horror fan, I hope you put Roman numerals into this Netflix recommendation. Good God, I loved Sinister. I love seeing Ethan Hawke brought out from whatever dusty cage he enjoys. He's a great actor.
Yep.
Oh, had my heart ever since Training Day.
Yeah, I found Sinister really refreshing. People knock it for ripping off a lot of old horror movies like Poltergeist, but I think it did a good job of bringing those elements in, adding to them, and just refreshing it. It's
refreshing it with that sort of black metal villain, and refreshing it with a lot of found footage nuance. I gotta stress nuance there. It's really easy to, take the whole found footage, they're hanging themselves thing, and misuse the tone and desensitize your audience to it. But you really found like you were exploring these really morbid gems of other people's lives with the main character. Loved it. Except for like last shot on the ending, they always have to eat the camera, but
yeah, Yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed just everything about it. The twist ending. Woof. Won't say any more than that, but great movie. Really great movie.
Speaking of great movies, what else is on this list?
We got I Am Legend.
Ooh! I've actually read the source material for this motherfucker.
The book did it better, but it's still a good movie.
But the book was a bit more erotic because it wasn't the 2000 onward CG long face enemies. Yeah. Rah. Reminds me of Mummy Returns.
Yeah. But I don't know. I still get through that. Like, I still enjoy just watching Will Smith carry a movie. I think that's for me what the biggest thing is.
He really can.
Yeah.
You need an emotional rock. Just throw 7 pounds. That's all that was.
Yeah. He tried on that one. This is better than 7 pounds, for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice. The relationship between him and his dog is fun to watch. Just him goofing around for most of the movie. It doesn't hold up the best. Like, it's not the most amazing horror film I've seen in a long time. I'd say Sinister's better than this.
Yeah, especially with that horror feel. But a lot of good work and time and element crafting went into I Am Legend. And I don't know. Out of all the different iterations of it in Omega Man, this is probably the best. Hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I haven't got shit to ask y'all at home about it. I know it's good. Moving on with this list.
Actually, I got one question to say.
Oh!
I just want to ask, for those who have read the book and seen the movie, my biggest problem with this, right when I came out of the theater, was that the ending for the book is so much better. Because if you know the meaning of the title of this movie, I Am Legend, in the book, that's what I want to talk about. Do you think that this movie kind of discredits that line by using it as its title and then not using where it's from? Because if you know the speech that I'm talking about, that's a hell of a speech, and that's what I remember from the book even today. Alright, so now moving on, now that I've asked that.
Matheson's a great writer.
Yeah. Talking about Lord of the Rings.
I don't know what to say. We might get hunted if... Lord of the Rings. You haven't seen it. You got time to burn time. I don't know. It's not like they're bad movies. I think the third one's a bit heavy-handed and emotional, but
yeah. The thing is, it's a journey for Lord of the Rings. It's one of those things where, like, I've seen them 5 times now, and I don't want to watch them anymore. I'm done. That's my opinion on Lord of the Rings. Some people are different than me. Some people can keep going and keep reliving that journey. But on the first viewing, and for probably a couple more viewings, more for some, fewer for less, experiencing the journey of the Fellowship as they try to do this seemingly impossible task, that is amazing. Seeing all of the locations, seeing all of the characters, all of the settings.
Yep.
It's
stunning. It's the fantasy standard. It's your standard setup done perfectly well in film, and that is replicated.
Yeah. Peter Jackson did a great job directing. Everyone did a great job acting.
Now it seems of course he did, and he's doing The Hobbits. But you look at his filmography. He did B movies. I'm really impressed with Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
God damn.
That was out of nowhere. How did he even get that role? But
how did he audition? Oh man, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, and also for the film, I have to note that in some of the different scenes, just the emotion of the actors and the physical injuries they went through while making this. Like, Strider broke his toe and, just kept going, had to do all of Helm's Deep in a cast. Lots of stories like that. Great film, great story behind it. A lot there if you want to dig deeper.
Oh, yeah. Anything else on the list?
Yeah, one more thing. I recommend
it. Santa.
Boondocks.
Oh, the TV show?
The TV show. That is a great show.
Damn, I'm actually going to cover this in a future at best, but real quick here.
Just to sum it up really quick, The Boondocks is a show that gives you all kinds of political commentary, all kinds of social commentary, just neatly put together in a really nice setting with really tight characters.
Doesn't preach too much either. It has, of course, your characters are your... You use your characters to speak their mind, and you have your very revolutionary kid, you have your more of a gangster sort of young and wily guy, and you have like it's blatant, it's on the nose in that sense, but it's also quiet and subtle in the sense where the richest guy gets this little girl to sell lemonade for him, and you just watch, and you know it's about capitalism. You know that she's gonna get screwed over, but it's subtle. It's in the background. It's nice, and it doesn't really preach over you.
Yeah.
The preachiest bits are like when the boys are watching each other. But of course, everything has to be overblown, and you get the great line of the prison guard has become the prisoner because he can't sleep, or else Riley will try to escape.
Yeah.
That kind of commentary. Really nice flip.
It's really good all throughout. I really enjoy it. I can't recommend it enough, really. Like, if you want a comedy show that's a little bit thoughtful, even if you don't enjoy the thoughtful aspect, I've seen people who don't get any of the commentary just love this show because it's funny, it's catchy, it's colorful, it's got all of those elements put together.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, and remember, if you like our content, like it, comment, subscribe, and if you really are impressed by us, support us on Patreon.
See you guys.